Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the imminent Model 3 Highland release, Tesla hackers unlocking features, new Cybertruck leaks, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, a Tesla hacker has managed to unlock FSD, giving them access to this very expensive software for free. There are a lot of features that automakers these days lock with software until you purchase an upgrade, like heated seats, acceleration boosts, and in Tesla's case specifically, full self-driving. A lot of owners have complained that it doesn't make sense to have to pay in order to use hardware that is already in your vehicle, like heated seats. That naturally means that there's now a market for jailbreaking those features in these cars. Security researchers at TU Berlin found an exploit in the onboard computer that let them get around the $15,000 payment. They said, quote, Tesla has been known for their advanced and well-integrated car computers, from serving mundane entertainment purposes to fully autonomous driving capabilities. More recently, Tesla has started using this well-established platform to enable in-car purchases, not only for additional connectivity features, but even for analog features like faster acceleration or rear heated seats. As a result, hacking the embedded car computer could allow users to unlock these features without paying. The hack requires them to have physical access to the car, so they could use, quote, a known voltage fault injection attack against the AMD secure processor. They used low-cost, off-the-shelf hardware to carry out the attack, which implies if a hacker knows what they're doing, just about anyone could do this. They go on to say it's unpatchable, so if Tesla discovers that it's been done, there's not much that they can do about it. Their conclusion from there is that there aren't any locked features in a Tesla that they couldn't get for free using this strategy. That includes FSD, though it would take a little more work. It does need to be noted that these are researchers, professional hackers that were hired by Tesla in order to find these exploits and report back to Tesla and no one else. Thus, we can assume these holes are going to be sealed now, so no one else will get these features for free. And even though they found this exploit, they reportedly still believe Tesla's security is better than other automakers. Most of the hacks we hear about are of this nature. It's a hired researcher whose job it is to maintain Tesla's cybersecurity. The team at TU Berlin will be discussing exactly how they found this exploit after Tesla is able to fix it, of course, so that no one else is able to use that information maliciously. Next up today, some updates on the Cybertruck. As it nears production, it's been spotted undergoing even more winter testing in New Zealand. This is something we've seen with all of Tesla's vehicles before they enter production, and it means this truck is getting even closer to deliveries. During the Tesla Q2 2023 earnings call last month, they said, "We are now testing Cybertruck vehicles around the world for final certification and validation." First units of the truck arrived in New Zealand in June, and we saw it being offloaded from a plane. This new truck could be the same one that we saw in early July, but it's hard to tell from this far away. We also saw a leak this week of the Cybertruck's front trunk looking a little small. This is the first time we've actually seen inside what appears to be the production frunk with a liner in, and it's leaving some disappointed. This is pretty much the only significant storage in the truck that isn't the exposed bed, so it's a bit bigger of a deal than it would be in a regular car. Even though that truck bed has a tonneau cover, if you're using it for anything that requires it to be open, it's nice to have a separate area where you can keep things clean. Previously, we saw the hood on an unfinished model that gave some fans hope that this frunk would be a little bigger, but if you factor in all the materials required to actually secure the frunk, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that it is the size that it ends up being. It is hard not to compare it to the Ford F-150 Lightning's massive front trunk, but that truck is designed with a much longer front end to mimic the design language of the F-150. The Cybertruck has a much shorter, slanted front end, mostly for aerodynamics. Just looking at the exterior, it makes sense that the front trunk is relatively small. I can't imagine that's actually going to be a problem though, since Tesla is usually pretty good about storage space. I imagine as this truck starts to roll out, we'll see plenty of other storage locations inside the vehicle. It's also a give and take because Tesla is making this car shorter so that it can fit in a garage, but as such, you're not going to have as big of a front trunk. Another rare photo leaked online of a Cybertruck, Rivian R1T, and Tesla Model S in the same frame. That sounds like it would be an excellent opportunity for a size comparison, but as you can see, it's not the best angle for that. It makes the Cybertruck look pocket-sized compared to the huge Rivian R1T, and the Model S looks like a tiny standard sedan. Now, I've owned both an R1T and a Model S, and seen a Cybertruck in person, and I can tell you none of these vehicles are small. This is a wide lens, which you can tell by objects closer to the camera being wider. If you look at the lines on the road, they're wider here as well than they are over here. You can also see it comparing the back wheel of the R1T to the front wheel. These wheels are the same size, so this difference means that this photo is obviously distorted. The Cybertruck should still be a little over 14 inches longer than the R1T. If the pictures were taken from the side, you'd definitely see that extra foot. It was also spotted next to a Model S. While this is Tesla's longest vehicle yet, it should still be able to fit in most garages. It's also been pointed out here again just how long the windshield is on this truck. I hope they've made progress on the armored glass since the infamous window smashing at the unveil event, because I can imagine that replacing this enormous windshield will be quite expensive. This was captured by Joe Tegtmeyer at a supercharger station at Giga Texas. Here we can see the giant dash that Chuck Cook suggests should have a solar panel accessory made for it. Look at the size of that dash. I think we need a solar panel accessory to put there to cover phantom drain due to Sentry mode. That would probably be a worthwhile accessory considering just how much space we have up there. Even if it's only powering the backup battery or an external battery that you can use while camping, I think that would definitely make a great addition. Overall, Tesla is still planning to deliver first Cybertruck units by the end of the year, but its 1.9 million reservation holders are still waiting for pricing and available configurations. I'm excited to see even more details leak as this truck gets closer and closer to production. Next up today, the latest rumors are saying that in less than a week, Tesla is finally going to shift production to the new Model 3. As a very quick overview, this has been codenamed Project Highland at Tesla. At its core, it will bring manufacturing improvements to help Tesla make this car for less money, but at the same time, they are expected to revamp the look of the front and rear, update the interior quite a bit, get rid of stocks, and make a number of other small changes throughout the vehicle, like adding ventilated seats. Overall, it should be a great refresh to boost demand for this car. There has been a lot of other evidence pointing to an imminent release, and now Not a Tesla app says the Highland is ready. Shoppers worldwide are anticipating this release, and two Twitter users, who are often reliable sources of Tesla insider info, say that Tesla has begun production on the refreshed Model 3 in Giga Shanghai. Quote, a complete transition to the Highland refresh is expected by mid-August, August 14th to be exact. Production is expected to be nearing a full ramp by the end of this month at both factories that currently make the Model 3. Then release is expected as early as September. Quote, since European Model 3 units come from Giga Shanghai, this aligns seamlessly with the timelines required to ship the newly produced cars from China to Europe. It's unclear when Tesla will unveil this car, but I imagine they'll wait as long as they can so that they can keep shipping inventory Model 3s, which are still available at discounts right now. In addition to rumor here, financial reports are also showing that Tesla has begun trial production of that car in China. There they say they expect September and October deliveries. On top of that, the Model 3 base model will use a new 66 kilowatt-hour M3P battery from CATL. This should boost its range, and this report says that the car will start at 200,000 won. That roughly translates to $27,811, which is quite a bit cheaper than the Model 3 starts in that market currently. We'll see how that can trickle down to other markets in the US for pricing. That's likely Tesla's ultimate goal with this refresh, and they happen to be updating the design at the same time. I always like to say that if you're ready to buy a Tesla, the right time is basically impossible to get. But if you like what is rumored to be Project Highland, now might be the exact time to wait. This car appears to be coming very soon, and there's evidence from all sides pointing to it. Ultimately, it should update this car in some core ways that will make it better, and it will be a huge distinguisher from the Model 3 prior to this refresh. If I were buying a Model 3 right now, I know that I would wait. But as always, these are still rumors. Tesla could surprise us by waiting even longer to launch this car. We'll have to wait and see. Next up today, we heard recently that Tesla may have been bending the truth around their range estimates in vehicle, leading many customers to believe their batteries were performing much better than they actually were. The report claims that Tesla developed an algorithm that showed drivers a more optimistic range at the top of their range that turned more precise once the car's state of charge dropped below 50%. Well, now this discovery has led to a class action lawsuit. 3 owners filed the lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. The attorney representing them has said, put simply, Tesla has a duty to deliver a product that performs as advertised. They aim to represent every Tesla owner in California, but there's no telling how far that will actually get. So far, those are all the details that we have. As far as the algorithm being more optimistic when the battery's full, that may have some ground in this case. Even though this is probably something Tesla owners already knew about, it could still be seen as a safety risk risk in certain circumstances, such as taking a road trip across the desert. But they seem to be focusing on false advertising. While it's frustrating to learn your vehicle's range may not be actually as high as advertised, Tesla has calculated their range in a way that is compliant with EPA guidelines. It doesn't seem like Tesla has actually broken any laws here. As with any new lawsuit though, we'll have to wait and see if anything comes of it. Hopefully the outcome is that Tesla starts to advertise more accurate ranges for their vehicles, but I think that might have to be a longer process that involves the EPA across the board for all automakers. Next up today, we have an FSD update from Elon Musk. Now, there's quite a history of Elon making predictions about when this software will be truly autonomous, with him regularly saying it'll be ready by the end of the year, just about every year. He recently said he would stop making predictions on when FSD would actually become autonomous, but despite that, he again said in April that they would crack it by the end of 2023. Now we have an update that might mean they're actually getting close. Elon said on Twitter, or X, that, quote, vehicle control is the final piece of the Tesla FSD AI puzzle. That will drop more than 300,000 lines of C++ control code by about 2 orders of magnitude. It is training as I write this. Our progress is currently training compute constrained, not engineer constrained. So basically they've shifted away from direct code controlling the vehicle to neural nets that are based on the data collected from the millions of drivers on the road. This is a system that gets smarter over time, learning from the environment captured by Tesla's cameras. This is what the goal of Tesla Vision has been since it was introduced. Earlier this month, Tesla launched their Dojo computer, which is a, quote, super powerful training computer. They predict it'll become one of the most powerful computers in the world within the next year, which will definitely accelerate the progress of their FSD software. With Elon's past predictions, they haven't really been accompanied by any concrete evidence that Tesla was actually making progress towards level 5 autonomy. This time though, new hardware has some people regaining hope that this might actually be the year. Of course, I wouldn't trust any timeline Elon gives us, especially with FSD, given his history here, so we'll have to wait and see. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. At Fisker, right as they're in the process of shipping their Ocean EV, they held a product vision event where they showed off 4 EVs. They talked about what the Ocean is bringing out, and then unveiled the Force E. This is an electric off-roading vehicle based on the Ocean, and they say it's coming in Q1 2024. From there, they unveiled the Ronin, an EV supercar. Henrik Fisker said that this is the world's first 4-door electric convertible. They claim that this car will have a 600-mile range, can sit 5 people, and should have about 1,000 horsepower. That'll achieve a plaid matching 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. As for how they plan to get that long range, quote, we are looking to integrate the cells into the structure of the body, and that will give us our goal of getting to 600 miles of range. They didn't show the interior yet, and it's likely unfinished as they're aiming for this to come out toward the end of 2025. Right now, this is likely the car to get the least excited about from Fisker, since the Ocean still has to scale up to be able to sell at its originally announced $35,000 price. In any case, Fisker has also showed off their upcoming PEAR fully for the first time. PEAR stands for Personal Electric Automotive Revolution, and this is a small SUV that's smaller than the Ocean, with the intent of starting at $29,900 before tax credits. One unique aspect of this car is the Houdini door in the back, which is their version of a rear hatch that vanishes into the car's body. This allows you to have a full hatchback that is easy to open and close in tight spaces. It's also easier to load in and out of. Inside, this car can seat up to 6. Right now, they say that this is coming in 2025. Lastly, Fisker unveiled their pickup truck concept called the Alaska. They say it has a base price of $45,400 and will also come in 2025. They are positioning this as an adventure truck, and they haven't unveiled many specs aside from ranges between 230 and 340 miles. They say that this will be the lightest electric truck out there, but will still be very versatile. It has a 4.5-foot bed, but also has a special Houdini door that expands the bed to 7.5 feet by going into the cabin. Measuring to the edge of the tailgate, it's 9.6 feet long. This is built on their FT31 platform, which is a modified version of their Ocean platform. Each of these vehicles are available to reserve on their website, and most are expecting some, if not all, of these vehicles to be delayed from 2025. We're definitely rooting for them though, and these new vehicles do look pretty cool. Assuming the Houdini door works well on the PEAR, that car looks to be a great, small, versatile vehicle. Over at Toyota, they're shifting their strategy, and they've announced that they'll be boosting local development of tech and software in China to develop electric vehicles that are competitive. That'll definitely be a challenge considering the EV market in China is already saturated by domestic manufacturers. Part of their plan involves accelerating local designs and development of smart cockpits and modern interior designs involving built-in AI. They also plan to reduce manufacturing costs by developing a local supplier base, reviewing parts designs, and reforming production and manufacturing. They're still sticking to their multi-pathway approach, which means that they're developing hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fuel cells in addition to EVs. Their CEO said in April, "We need to increase our speed and efforts to firmly meet the customer expectations in the Chinese market." More and more, though, those expectations are for battery electric vehicles. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see all the fake Teslas that we'd love to see in the real world, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.